on the way to ancient Messini.
Oh yeah, where? Sounds like, because it's got the circle, it has that amphitheatre effect to it. They were told that one of their children was going to be born and become the king of the gods, okay? That's a very special child. Well, the father was very jealous of this, okay? So every time his wife gave birth to a child, he simply ate the child, as you do, okay? It's a long story, I'm cutting it real short, okay? So there came a time when Zeus was born, okay, that mother knew this was going to be a special baby, so she replaced him in the cradle with a rock, okay? And she gave him into the care of 2 nymphs. So father came along and he ate the rock, okay? And he was then sick, and he brought back up all the children he had eaten, okay? So that's why they say Zeus is the oldest and the youngest of all their siblings, okay? So, who did Mum put him in the care of? 2 nymphs. One was called Ithome, okay, the mountain's named after, and the other one was called Neda, okay, the goddess of water. So, remember the phenomenon, okay, of the water. We do not dispute that Zeus was born on the island of Crete. We don't dispute that at all. But it was said that afterwards the 2 nymphs brought him here. So Zeus was brought up as a child in this area. So one of the artifacts that they found in here was a statue of Zeus portrayed as a young boy, because normally Zeus is portrayed as you'd recognise the figure as an elderly man with a beard, white flowing robes. He looks a little bit like the god we would call today, how he's portrayed. So what happens? Okay, what happens is Queen Messini, who this area is named afterwards, decided she would build a temple to Zeus on the top up there. Okay, not this point here, but further along, a temple to Zeus. And people would come to worship Zeus. And in the end, they came to worship Queen Messini herself. So what happens? You go, oh, I've got a good business opportunity here. Whilst you're here, would you like some water? Yeah? Would you like a little something to eat? And he decides he's not going to go home. He'll build a little store to share with the people who are coming. And then eventually you're going to build a house to live in, and other people do the same, okay? And this all started because of coming to worship Zeus up there, okay? And so that is why a city developed and grew in the first place.
This is a subterranean chamber built of rectangular stone blocks firmly fastened with iron dowels and lead, I think. It was hermetically covered over with 2 superimposed rows of elaborately worked bulky stones, except for a rectangular opening in the middle, in which a heavy lid was placed. The chamber is mentioned in literary sources as the treasury in which a renowned general from Megalopolis was imprisoned in 183 or 2 BC and poisoned by the Messenian general Dinocrates and his followers, fanatic members of the anti-Achaean party. It's called the Treasury House. This is the sanctuary of Asclepios, and it was one of the most important in Messini, functioning as religious and political centre of the city. Very mysterious. This is a rectangular grave monument of the early 2nd century BC, enclosing burials of men and women fallen in battle. Only they're the rich people who are buried here.